After a quick stop in Dubuque, it was time to turn around and head home to finish the commercial cross-country training flight.
Clear prep! Alright, no one left, no one forward, no one right, no one behind.
While most of this flight was uneventful, there were a few stressful moments towards the end. John and I made a quick turnaround at the Dubuque Jet Center, fired up the 235, and were delicately taxiing towards the runway when we realized we might have a problem. A recent ice storm had come through the Midwest, and we knew that run-up would be a little tedious. Sure enough, applying power caused us to start ice skating forward, which made for quite an interesting experience. We were still able to do a comprehensive run-up and felt comfortable taking off. As a reminder, the radios didn't record on this flight, so some ATC transmissions are sprinkled in. On departure, we climbed through the clouds, reached our cruise altitude of 9,000 feet, and started snacking on some FBO cheese curds. Why a couple guys from Wisconsin thought cheese curds from an Iowa airport would be tasty is beyond me, but they certainly left us longing for home and excited to get back into the Badger State. We filed for 9,000 feet for two main reasons. First, we wanted to see what kind of the performance the 235 would give us climbing that high. Also, I wanted to see what my blood oxygen levels would be like at that altitude. After monitoring the pulse oximeter for a while, I was content with my experiment and turned my head to my flight bag in the back seat to put the pulse ox away. As I turned my head forward, I had a sudden feeling that we were climbing. I thought this might have been spatial disorientation from a sudden head movement, so despite having a clear horizon ahead, my training kicked in and my eyes immediately went to the instruments. Sure enough, we were climbing, and the autopilot's out of trim alarm started blaring. I remembered that the electric trim had only been working intermittently lately, so fearing I had a runaway trim, I disconnected the electric trim, pushed forward on the yoke, and manually trimmed the airplane. I was working hard to keep the nose down, so I disconnected the altitude hold portion of the autopilot and immediately felt the controls release. Within a few seconds of feeling like I finally had the plane back under control, we were given a descent by ATC.
Number 601, descend and maintain 4,000. 01, thank you, descend and maintain 3,000 at pilot's discretion. Cleared visual approach runway 10.
With the plane back under control and the field in sight, I completely disengaged the autopilot and hand flew the visual approach.
Number 15601, radar service terminated. That traffic you saw earlier, he's paralleling you off the right side now. Go ahead and contact Waukesha Tower 123.7.
01 Waukesha Tower, wind 030 left 5, runway 106 to land. Clear to land 10, check 15601. 3242 Victor Alpha, Waukesha Tower. Follow that Cherokee at about your 2.52 miles, runway 10, fixed lane number 2. Number 2 clear lane behind Cherokee, we'll follow them all the way in to Victor Alpha. Speed 688, Waukesha Tower, hold short 10 at Alpha, arriving traffic, we're waiting on 2. First one's going to be Cherokee, about 3 miles out.
Based on the ATC audio, some of you might already be painting a picture in your head of what's about to happen. I had a plane close behind me that would be landing immediately after me. It was a plane that could easily overtake me if we both weren't careful about our speeds. I also had 2 corporate jets waiting for both of us to land so they could take off. All of this meant I needed to keep my speed up on final while still keeping my landing short, all while knowing the jet pilots would be judging my landing. It needed to be smooth, on center line, in the touchdown area, and as quick to clear the runway as possible. No pressure.
Right turn 1 able. Traffic is an RV on about a 1.5 mile final. Can you make Alpha Steven?
Yeah, we got Alpha 2, 6.
Nailed it.
He was so hopeful on that.
Both legs of this flight forced me to work through unforeseen challenges quickly and safely, a skill that all pilots must have regardless of their rating. The Runaway trim was squawked for maintenance and is being addressed at annual, which is ongoing at the time this video is being published. My next few flights included my first time flying solo while in the clouds, then heading back to my roots at Capitol Drive Airport to fly November 90614 Whiskey, the plane that started it all for me. Those videos are coming soon, but until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Badger Pilot.
One, two, three, four.